Apes, chimps, primates, they're adorable. People love to make video games about them, and I'm gonna throw them all into one category. I am the Game Collector, and this is Second Opinion Games, and today I'm gonna show you monkeys in video games. I guess that's enough monkeying around. Let's get into it.
Second Opinion Games.
Donkey Kong's the original giant monkey of video games, and you play as Mario trying to save Princess, well, it's not a princess, it's just your girlfriend Pauline, because Mario was a monkey tamer or something like that in the zoo, and eventually Donkey Kong got mad at him. Anyway, you look at it, this is the first platform game of its kind where you have a guy jumping over barrels. It wasn't long before another giant monkey got in the mix with Congo Bongo. This is graphically a much better game, but how does it play? Well, terribly, even though it's on a three-dimensional plane and it looks really cool. They managed to, turn the controller so when you press up, you actually go right. This is very confusing on all levels. I guess they kind of thought that they could squeeze more money out of you if you have no idea how to control the simple game. Eventually, I do reach the top where it goes to another level, but I completely don't want to play this ever again just because of them messing up the controls so darn badly. Donkey Kong makes his return in Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo, and I gotta say, the game looks beautiful. There's some lighting effects, rain effects, snow effects going on here, and these barrel sections, tell me they weren't shoved in there just to rub in Sega's face that the Super Nintendo can do blast processing too, or at least something like that, because it starts to feel a little bit like a Sega game. Heck, Donkey Kong himself sort of does a tuck and roll maneuver to beat up his enemies, just like Sonic does, and the controls are darn near perfect. You could also play as a full-fledged monkey with Diddy Kong, which I think is supposed to be his brother, so does that make Donkey Kong like a real monkey, even though he's obviously an ape? You see, this is why the list gets really confusing, and this is why I just jammed them all into one category, because it's really kind of hard to tell what you're looking at. Are they monkeys? Are they apes? Who the heck knows? Ape Escape knew that too, because these apes escaped from Monkey Park. You see how it gets confusing here? Anyway, this PlayStation 1 classic was the first to demand you use the dual analog stick controller. This allows you to strike in any direction and then use the face buttons to switch back and forth between maybe your sword or a projectile power-up or the net that you will use to capture these monkeys that are just plain adorable, by the way, and you'll be switching back and forth on the fly and double jumping and action platforming your way through many different environments, and you even might see a monkey riding a freaking dinosaur. How cool is that? This game is a classic for a reason, because it's freaking awesome. Curious George is an obvious monkey, except for the fact that he has no tail. This was based off of an animated kids movie, which was quite good, especially the soundtrack being done by Jack Johnson. And this Xbox and PlayStation 2 video game, you control George as he runs through the jungle and meets up with his very yellow compadre friend, dad-like figure. The game itself is pretty darn good, except for my copy of the game, where it just fails to work the double jump when you need it to, which means you're gonna continuously die and never make it anywhere here. I've played it on other things like the PlayStation 2 where it works totally fine, so maybe pick it up on the PlayStation 2 because the controls might actually work. Either that or my copy's just scratched. It not working makes me so frustrated, I just want to punch something. So then I put in Monkey Puncher on the Game Boy Color, where you don't get to play as a monkey itself. No, you get to play as a boy or a little girl, and your family is kidnapped, and you have to train a monkey to punch things in order to win back your family. The premise is ridiculous, and the fact that this is an RPG where you train a monkey to fight is freaking awesome. This was one of my favorite Game Boy Color games. I don't know why I got sucked in by the storyline, because it is really stupid, and it felt like I was training a Tamagotchi pet, and you don't control the monkey at all here. When you throw him in the boxing ring, well, you probably just get the crap kicked out of you because your monkey is really stupid. I don't know how good of an idea it is to keep kids and monkeys together anyway. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. This was an arcade game based on Who the Heck Knows. I think there was a movie, I never really saw it. But anyway, Michael Jackson goes around trying to save kids, and occasionally his monkey comes along in front of the kids. Michael Jackson touches his monkey and then becomes a rock-hard metal man that just starts to blast everything with giant lasers. This game is freaking ridiculous, and I really like it. So much so that I went and bought Moonwalker for the Genesis, only to find out it's a completely different game. This one is definitely the better monkey video game of the two. You know what? Do you get hard when you touch your monkey in front of children like Michael does? Well, maybe it's a question for another time. Toki Goin' Apes was a much better Sega Genesis conversion. Keep in mind, this is sort of like a Contra game, only your character is not very maneuverable at all, and he's a giant freaking monkey. One hit kills here, and my god is it ever frustrating, until you take your time and learn exactly how the game should be played. You can even pick up shoes that make you jump extra high. This doesn't even make sense, because you actually started the game as a human person, and it was in like the jungle or something, so you still wouldn't have shoes, and they probably wouldn't help you anyway. Anyway, if you take a look at the arcade version of the game, you'll find out it's much prettier and plays really well. The conversion between the two is night and day. The Genesis version's much darker, the arcade version is quite a bit more fun, but at the time, we were totally fine with this Genesis version. Super Monkey Ball Adventure for the PlayStation 2 and original Xbox is a game that we probably weren't fine ever seeing. Now, I really loved Monkey Ball 2 and Monkey Ball 1, and the controls were spot on. Adventure feels a little bit slipperier, and also, I don't really know what to do here. I could stop and read what these monkeys have to say, but I don't care what monkeys have to say. I just want to jump into some challenges and rush to the goal and pick up bananas along the way. And this game sort of strips all of that and makes you go on a RPG-like adventure. I understand that the few people that wanted a monkey RPG could finally play one, but I didn't want that, so I don't understand it all. If I wanted an aneurysm from a monkey-like video game, I would have played Super Empire Strikes Back, where it is one of the hardest games ever. Especially when you get to the Chewbacca stages, where Chewbacca can do a double jump, shoots his automatic laser crossbow, like that makes any sense, and blows apart everything, and he can also swing his arms around, sort of like Hagar from the Final Fight series. This is ridiculous on every single level, and it's also a lot of fun until you just die 1,000 times on the same level. Not to mention, I had to play through the entire freaking game just to get to this part, and this is one of the hardest games ever made. So give me a like and a comment in the comment box down below, just for all the punishment I put myself through here today. Especially because I had to play Hail to the Chimp. This is an election-based monkey mini-game collectionathon where you try to get clams because they're money and just run around a really boring environment beating up your friends. This isn't even fun with friends. This is just bland and as stupid of a game as could possibly get. Even if there's a monkey in it, I still don't recommend anyone plays this. The Avengers of Darwin. This is sort of like Pikmin if Pikmin were monkeys. It's an RPG with a day and night cycle. You use your monkeys to pick up resources and try to evolve. Probably becoming humans at some point, but I don't know. Maybe eventually you'll even build a rocket ship and make it to the moon. Who the heck knows? I don't feel like playing long enough to find out. Space Chimps. I guess they finally did make it into a rocket ship and landing on outer space. This is an action platformer based on a movie, I think. I don't know. I've never even seen or heard of the movie at all, but I do really dig this game. All the characters here are very well voice acting. The controls are spot on. The graphics look beautiful for an Xbox 360 games, and the monkeys actually do monkey-like things, like throw their poop. Well, I guess they don't do that, but they do swing on vines and do a lot of action platforming and some other cool stuff like that. This is a great 3D platformer for the system, and it's a shame because not many people even played it. Congos Cave is another very well-made monkey video game for the Super Nintendo. You play as a boy with a monkey tail. Of course, when you get hit too many times, well, then you turn back into a monkey itself. And this is just an action platformer where you could bang cavemen over the head with your club and then roll them around and smash into other things. This is Data East at their finest here, and I really love this game. There's dinosaurs everywhere, and heck, you could even fight them. Do monkeys even exist at the same time as dinosaurs? Well, Ape Escape seemed to think so, and so did this game. Spanky Quest was another game that I really loved playing back in the day. It's a little bit slower paced on my beloved Super Nintendo, where you play as a monkey named Spanky, because that's a funny joke. You throw a thing up in the air, you press the button another time, and it could turn into a baseball where then you could kill vegetables that came alive for some reason or another. Then you just try to collect keys to clear levels. It's very addictive, there's boss battles here, and the game is frustrating, but also highly rewarding. I recommend everyone give Spanky a try. Maybe the most overlooked game here is Monkey Magic on the PlayStation 1. It is a 2.5D masterpiece where you play as a kung fu toting monkey that beats up everything in sight and also has to collect keys, open up doors, and progress through the levels. But also you have monkey magic that you could use either on yourself or on an enemy or object in your environment. And you're gonna have to use these in creative ways. Usually have to switch a bunch of them up in order to complete all the puzzles that are laid out before you. This is the perfect balance of punching and beating up crap and puzzles that I think I've ever seen. Also, I really happen to absolutely love 2.5D games, and they really did this one right. If you were gonna pick up Adventure of Lomax for like $300 on the PlayStation 1, maybe you should give this one a try first, because it is almost as good as that, but really not quite. But I still recommend you try it out, even though one of the most annoying things about the game is every single time you pick up a monkey icon, it screams, "Monkey!" It's both annoying and hilarious. But what's probably the best and least known monkey game out there? Super Mario 64, a game that sold 1.3 million plus copies out there, has a monkey in it probably about halfway through the game. You may have missed him because he doesn't really do that much other than just sort of stand there and make funny monkey noises and just completely it looks cute until Mario decides to punch him in the face. Then he steals Mario's hat because Mario is a total jerk. Until you decide to capture the monkey again, in which case then he gives you your hat back. This is just nuts. Why did they even bother to program this into the game? It does absolutely nothing. I am convinced that there is more to this little Easter egg than just a monkey stealing a hat. Maybe they wanted to make a spin-off Mario character. Maybe he was supposed to help you, or maybe there's something of a star involved. I don't even know, but I always found this fascinating, and the fact that I wanted to talk about this scene so much that I decided to make a huge video about it, well, that means that this is the very best monkey video game of all times. Certainly the highest selling one. But of course, that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I had a hell of a time making it because sometimes I play games I don't want to play, and I had to research a lot of monkey games and a lot of monkeying around just to get to this point. So if you have a weird topic that you want someone else to make because you don't feel like digging through all the hard work, well, please leave me a comment in the comment box down below. And until later, I will see you again, guys.